Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Scrap Squad Sunday. And this is the original this time. And I was tempted to do what Rebecca Meadows did, which was to make it 2024 and have it be a cover page for the 2024 album. But I decided to go with a couple of photos of our Christmas tree from 2023, and I'm going to make it the left-hand side of a two-page layout, a two-page spread that will have, this will have a couple photos James took of the Christmas tree, and then over on the other page, I'm going to do a grid using the same supplies, so there's some continuity. And it's going to have a bunch of close-ups of the Christmas tree, and I'm going to do them in, well, hard to explain. I'm going to fold it over. So the photo's here, and underneath I'll have a photo with lines going to all the ornaments so that I can tell where, kind of the history of the ornaments. So I took a bunch of close-ups, and that's going to be one that'll kind of be a personal page that that I'll do. I don't know if I'm going to make a video of that one because it's going to be fairly involved. I will share it probably in my video, my layout share that I do every so often when the stack gets so high I can't stand it. I have used the Evergreen and Holly collection by Vicki Boutin, and I think all I have, I may have a few 12 by 12s, but I have this pad, and I think I have another one that's mostly used of 6 by 8s. And then I have this sticker sheet, it's the only one that I have left, and I have these puffies, and I like this puffy Merry Christmas, and I have these chipboard pieces, and so I'm gonna, and I have some ephemera. So that's what I'm choosing from. I have chosen some things that I may or may not use, and I've before rolling the cameras, I tied with this embroidery floss in, and kind of matched the colors as best I could. And then we'll go from there. I constructed these little photo clusters ahead of time because I wasn't quite sure how that was going to work, how they were actually going to work. And I tied this little bow, which I now am going to glue onto the loop in the stocking. And I'll kind of put that aside. I'm going to put this aside. I pulled some kind of color matched ephemera pieces. I don't know if I'm going to really use those. I cut the numbers out of different pattern papers, and I kind of wanted the traditional red and green opposite each other, and those are the ones that the photos are going to go with, because the photos have traditional red and green colors. And then I did the yellow and pink. So I think that's probably about as good placement. And to get the numbers, I found a fat font on my word processor, and I printed them in a size I thought would be appropriate. And then I laid them on top of the papers and cut them out with scissors. And I had to cut through this one to get the center out. So, and then I have put foam behind these in case I want to tuck things underneath. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I'll probably put most things on top. I'm going to line up the twos. Trying to leave as much space below as, or above as below, but I always tend to leave more at the bottom. I'm not quite sure why that is, but that's how it works. That's how it seems to work. Okay, and then this one, I have a few Bramble Fox pieces from this set that had the aqua and then the glittery, and then it has these gray-green ones, which I thought were neutral enough that they would go with all the colors I have going on here. And I might spread them around. I'm also going to do some splattering, and I kind of want to do the splatters now before the embellishments go on. And I'm going to do some around each of the numbers, and I may shield. What I'm using is Distress Mica Stain in Sugary Gumdrop, and that came in a Mind the Scrap kit. And I've never done splatters with a curved applicator like this. It's doing just fine, I think. I shook it up quite a lot before I turned the camera on, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to do it sooner rather than later. Now, in my experience, I can bring the mica up to the surface quicker without having to wait for it to dry by doing this. And it also makes the splatters a little more like this pink. And it's really, really shiny. The mica is just gorgeous. So now that I've done that, let's start. I think the first thing I want to do is this is the photo bits, and I'm going to put a strip of foam behind here that they're connected by some foam which separates the photo from this label. I just used a couple labels that were in the ephemera, and I'm gonna do this so that it slides a bit under but I want the photo at an angle, kind of like that, like so. And then I'm gonna cut some more foam, and I'm gonna do the. I constructed these bits. The labels are in common, but I didn't want the photo and the ephemera and the label to have the exact same orientation in both places. Don't ask me why. There's not much going on right here. In the real photo, which I will scrap later, there are a lot of people, and you can see Reese under the table there. But in this one, I've pretty much, to keep with the size I wanted, I've pretty much, I'm going to lift that up so that I can slide that in. Let's see. On the original, it goes out, but because I have these gloves here, these mittens, I'm gonna have it slanted in like that. And this kind of gives it a little bit different sort of angle. Okay, having done that, now I want to do, I thought I want to do some kind of, to honor the colors, not match them necessarily, but this candle brings in the yellow there, and there is a yellow bell in the chipboard. I know I'm going to use the yellow bell, and I'm going to have it kind of hanging down this way. Therefore, this may be more appropriate kind of up there. So, having decided that, I'm now going to get a thick piece of foam that will hold this outer portion of that flame. There. And it puts the candle and the flame close to the stitching, which kind of draws your eye there. I need something right in here that maybe brings a, introduces maybe another color. Let's kind of go with this, jingle, jingle, jingle. That's appropriate because it's a bell, and it brings in the green that you see down in this two down here. So I'm gonna maybe try to slide that under there. Let me put a little bit of foam on the bell. I had glued it down, and that didn't give me any room underneath it. So when I pulled it up, okay. There we go. And that is my start. Okay. Now I have this cute red and pink turtle dove, I guess. And I'm going to add it right up here. Again, kind of hanging out right there by the twine, and then the kind of joining in with this photo cluster. And I thought maybe it would be good to put my title right across there. And my title is going to come from here. It's this green Christmas Eve. And I thought I'd have it overlap the 0 and then overlap onto the photo cluster. And following, in case I want to tuck anything under it, I'm going to go ahead and add some foam, adhere it with foam. I love the splatters. And I'm going to kind of go back and add in some epoxy hearts. Okay, so this one isn't peeled yet. And then I have to remember that I have these little sprigs of greenery. Okay, there. And see, it brings in this green of the stocking, and I like that this one, the color scheme works on its own, separate from the rest of the page, but it also kind of reflects things that you're going to see. I'm going to try to maybe add a little yellow down here if I can. Just to kind of have a little bit of a reflection there. For this one, I kind of wanted to do, I guess I could do it here. So that it doesn't completely obliterate the identity of the two. So let's see. If that will work. And then there is a little red bow that I would like to put right there. And I'm going to just glue that on. And I'm gluing it over the bow that was already part of the ephemera, which was kind of a beigey white sort of bow. And I think I need something right there. And I think I'm going to use this hot cocoa, and then this may be where I add that. And I don't, let me put the hot cocoa on, because we did have hot cocoa. That's a kind of a Christmas Eve tradition, whether we open gifts or not. Usually we don't open gifts on Christmas Eve, but this time Katie was leaving the next day to go to her mom's in Kentucky, and it was the only time we could get everybody together, and boy, we got everybody. we had everybody. Okay, there. And then it seems like I might need a little something right there, but I don't know what. Here, the pink, there is a pink bell, and then there's this this ornament, and the ornament has a hole in it where I could maybe, let's see, I kind of maybe want this up here, and then I can make a bow, or instead of a bow, because there's a bow right up above it, I'll just string some pink twine through it. And let me double it up so it's a little more fluffy. Is that the word I'm looking for, fluffy? And that, I don't think I'm going to get a double bit through this small hole. So I'm going to fiddle with it a little bit here on camera, and if I can't get it to work, I'll mess with it somewhere else. I'm just going to do it a single bit of it through there, and then I'll cut it off. my fingers aren't working this morning, so this is kind of ugly. There. We'll do that, and then what I'll do to make it fluffier is I will kind of separate the threads in that to make it more like fringe. Okay, that works. And now let's get some foam for that to go on. And there's a pink bannery kind of thing that I normally would try to use, but it says hot cocoa, and we already say cocoa right here. So, okay, I want this bell to go this way, and I'll have to see if there's a circle-y thing. There's a gingerbread guy there. That's cool. I like that. And so what I'm going to do is put a little bit of foam under the bell so that it's propped up. Oh my gosh, my shoulder. And for those of you who are wondering, because of my heart procedure, I had to wait 30 days for my shoulder surgery. So it is now scheduled for the 16th of January. And it will be none too soon, I tell you. The pain is just kind of reaching around to get things for the layout is just killing me. And I physically won't be able to do it because of the cast, or not the cast, but my arm will be in a sling, and the reason it'll be in a sling is to remind me that I can't use it. So maybe another sprig of greenery right there. On the original, there are some just kind of loosely, some leaves just kind of loosely tossed about, if you will. And I'm actually placing mine, which surprises even me. And those are both on the bottom. This one I'm going to put on the top, and maybe it could go... It's a different color green, so I kind of didn't want to do it here, but I like this placement, and it kind of puts it in between the 2 and the 0. So, and I like that it's against the white background, but it makes me think I need a a little circly fun thing here. This says all wrapped up. And I've got this little heart, which I want to put somewhere. I'm just going to put it right there. But the all wrapped up needs to be moved, and I need tweezers for that. I want it to kind of overlap. To underlap the title, but overlap the greenery. Okay, now I want to look at this and see. I thought I'd put some phrases. I like this twinkle lights make me happy, and that can go right down at the bottom here. Am I making sure that you can see this? I guess that's the... I'm still not quite sure of all this. I'm going to kind of bring it out this way. And there was another one I saw. I did kind of want to include one of these trees. And this cardinal. So maybe I could do something like this and set the cardinal as though it's landing in a very small tree. The proportions are not great, but I kind of like the idea. And it kind of becomes part of this cluster with the bell when I do it that way. And let me get a piece of, here, this foam. I probably need the thicker kind of this foam, but I don't see any on the table. So I'm just gonna deal with it. I'll make this work. Okay. I think that's good. I'm going to add little pink hearts around. I have several different shades of pink, and I have a couple green ones. I'm going to do some on the embellishments, maybe one right there, and I'll do this right here, something here. I just really want lots of little bits kind of setting the background for the big numbers, having them look, it kind of grounds them a bit. I'm going to use a green one right here, and that'll be my overlapping hearts. And I'm going to use a green one up in the yellow and green area. Kind of there. And I have two more. I want to empty this whole thing. Where do I need some? I need some right here. Oops, that's not quite pointed the right direction. Let me see if I can turn it. And I need my tweezers again, and I've lost them. Okay, here we go. These things never stick unless you put them down wrong. Then they're guaranteed to stick. Okay, I think I'm done, and I kind of reserved the right at the beginning to maybe add a few more splatters. And so I may do that now. And I'll let these dry. And they'll be a little different color than the ones I blotted. And I'm going to put some on the papers. Let me make sure I've got the mica fully mixed in. I can hear the little ball move. Okay, I think I'm done. And I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next Sunday for Scrap Squad Sunday. After the 16th, I have no idea what I'll be doing. I've had some great suggestions, and I may, I wanted to use this Merry Christmas. I'm gonna put it, since I put this here, I kind of want to do this up here. That'll work. Okay. Anyway, after the 16th, I may try a different camera angle where you're not looking straight down on what I'm doing, and I can manage the camera, and then I'll gather all the stuff up, and I may do more things before I roll the cameras, or I may just do them as best I can, and then after I get a few done, I might do a reveal where I kind of showed you in a little more detail than my reveals. And I thank you, Sharon, for suggesting that idea. I think that sounds like something I would be able to do without hurting myself and undoing my surgery, which, you know, would be the goal. And it might, you know, give me a little more flexibility in terms of timing. So I thank you very much for watching, and I thank you for all of your support all throughout the year, and I will see you next time. Next year, I guess. So, bye.